Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Back again casting the game we all really want to see. Sorry about yesterday, but I thought I'd try something new. It was pretty fun, but we're back to DoK today. And I was hoping for a 2v2 match today in the league that we would be able to cast, but unfortunately we weren't able to schedule that one. So instead, this is going to be a game that I played this morning with Catharsis. It's still a pretty good one. I think it should be enjoyable. We actually, it's a funny story, you know, he's playing as random. He rolled Coalition here, right? Oh, I don't have the tech viewer mod. I don't really care enough to actually go back and install it again. Oh well. Anyhow, yes, so he's playing as random, right? We actually played another game that desynced like 3 minutes in, but then he rolled the same faction again, so it was kind of handy, but you know. But yeah, it's important to note I don't know what faction he's going to be, so I'm kind of going in there blind, if you will. I'm going for very early sand skimmers. He is not. I can't tell you exactly what he's going for because I can't see, of course. But I do know he doesn't get LAVs out until quite a bit later than me. So probably he's AAV rushing. That would make sense based on the fact there's already one guy on RUs. I think he put that on right at the beginning rather than putting them on CUs. I think it was A-Game Angst was pointing this out to me. But when you scout your opponent's base, you're actually supposed to check the number of RUs that are there. Because that'll tell you. You can see now I can see 2880. I know that he had one on there right at the beginning. So that's pretty cool. It takes a little bit of intuition to figure out like exactly how many had been there, but yeah. If he's going to be doing an AAV rush, then I need to be able to get some damage in now and then pull back. So only going to make like 4 or 5 sand skimmers. I'm pretty sure I know it's going to be AAVs here, but I'm still going to try to push in and see if there's something I can do before they land. So you can see I've got 3 sand skimmers right here, not producing another one from the production cruiser. 4th one gonna pop out as well. That guy will head back and I'll try to go for an early refinery mode probably. And I looked at his salvagers, but I really didn't think they were very vulnerable, so I thought maybe I can go after this logistics module. And I also noticed he's firing rockets from this range, which means he's already gotten Car Reserve 1, so I've already slowed down his rush quite a bit. I can feel a little comfortable spending a bit more time here than I ordinarily would, but it's important I try not to lose any sand skimmers here, of course. This guy getting damaged, but I am going to take out the logistics module. AAV is going to pop out right here, so I'm just going to back away. No sense in staying there. Just going to get killed. He has to put down another logistics module. He had to get Power Reserve 1, and he does not have any long-distance mining salvagers, so I felt very good about this. Going to go for fleet capacity before refinery mode. That's not something I want to risk in this case when there's AAVs coming in, is to go for refinery mode before fleet capacity. It's such a long tech. And he comes down here with his base runner. Super annoying play, really like that. It just makes me, you know, have to do something about this. It's not fun. But I'm kind of returning the favor up here in the north. You see I'm getting refinery right now. It's going to be out in about 60 seconds. So, but these sand skimmers have managed to successfully hide. If I turn off reveal all, you can see where the corner of the map is. They were right out there in the corner. And I was hoping to maybe be able to poke back in and get something, but this AAV is still staying here, so I am delaying his rush though. At this point it really can't even be considered a rush. So I think we've both been kind of successful in what we wanted to do. He's slowed me down with this turret, I've slowed him down with some sand skimmers, and no one's gonna rush anyone. We'll both get onto 2 fully functioning bases, probably at about the same time if that's a support cruiser coming out. I'm not sure though. He may be a little bit later than me. You can see I'm giving a lot of respect to this turret. Another thing I could do is that since refinery mode is already finished, I could have the production cruiser come over here and then take the carrier out there, but I chose not to do that this time. Now there's 3 AAVs out in the field. He is just now making that support cruiser, and that takes about 60 seconds, I think. So I should have a slight lead in economy, but not very big. You can see I'm making assault railguns. I've got 2 now. So I should be ready to weed out this turret here. And this AAV won't really be able to get anything done. In fact, I am going to have more carrier power once this artifact scores. Although this AAV is going to put some hurt onto that base runner. But, you know, I'll be able to hold that off. That's not going to be a big problem for me. So I bait out one of the shots onto one of the salvagers. That way he has to go into cooldown, and then I can come in here. And I was actually really worried he was going to kill this, this assault railgun, but did not quite get it, so... Clean execute right there. He is going to push in on this side. Pretty annoying. Good move by him, I think, and that is going to slowly delay, slightly delay me, which means his economy won't be quite as far behind. But now putting the power in that I just got from the artifact, I'll be able to chase him off, be back on my eco. And so we're pretty much even. I don't know, I wouldn't really give a slight edge to anyone at this point. You know it's Catharsis, so I mean we can't see what his tech is going to be, but I'm almost certain it's air. And as a result, I'm getting missile ship fabrication. Just don't want to risk that at all. You know, if I can already have anti-air out on the field when his air comes, that is a good day for me. I actually, now that I look at it, I would give this, I would say I'm a little bit ahead here because this production cruiser is well already coming out. So I have a second production cruiser. And now, I know that Catharsis has air coming because, you know, of course we do. He's a very prolific air player there, and you'll see these like little crosshairs show up right there when they do get them. But until that time, these assault railguns basically can hold the field on their own. Like, there's nothing that can really contest them. So it's always kind of a question, like, how long can I stay out here before the air transition comes in? But in this case, I felt, you know, it was long enough to get a kill on this. No, Bozocow, you gotta kill that thing. No. I'm disappointed in myself. But anyway, you know, I felt like it was enough to come out here. Maybe just push these AAVs back a little bit. I really should have killed that one, but that's alright. But you can see the first air unit coming out for him as the first missile ship has already come out for me. So definitely on top of that air transition. I'm not going to get surprised by that at all. If you look at his carrier here, you can see he's got 2 with 2 more on the way. And I'm just, you know, triple producing salvagers. Just want to get salvagers up onto this third here. Set up my base quite nicely. I do see his base running here. I'm thinking, well, maybe I can actually stop this artifact, although I know there are AAVs, so that'll be difficult, but perhaps I can do something about that. At this point, his air transition could be useful to take out these sand skimmers. So, you know, you could say it's maybe a bit questionable to have them out here without the missile ship following them, but I felt okay about this. I'm starting to mix heavy railguns into my composition. You can see I've got one of them there already. The idea here is he's probably going to go for railguns at some point in the game. I want to have the jump on him, so if I just keep making assault railguns, I'll basically just get kind of steamrolled by railguns of his own. He still has not made another support cruiser, so he is below in economy. Long distance mining on the CUs, no RU income over there, and that's going to hurt him as he's going for air here. But that should also at the same time mean he's got a little bit of a CU float. He should be able to get another support cruiser before too long. Air units are launching now. They're going to look for some kind of an opportunity to attack. It could potentially be one down here, I suppose. But there's a missile ship well positioned right here. He's going to see it back away. He knows he can't fight there. There's going to be a missile ship right here. But he is going to catch this heavy railgun out. That's a nice move. Looks like he's going to take 2 shots from the missile ship. That's not so bad. And for a heavy railgun, definitely worth it. This guy here probably ought to dock though right away. And so he knows, you know, these air units I've got are not going to be terribly viable. They're having to kind of, you know, watch out for these missile ships here. So it's a nice moment for me, of course. I have a feeling his air units are going to try to come over here, so I'm moving the missile ship up, getting a little bit more passive here than I would normally. I don't have coverage of this area just yet, you see. And I've just gotten assault ship fabrication. I have another missile ship right here, though. You can barely see him for the CUs and all that stuff. But yeah, just one assault railgun is enough to really, you know, push off this AAV force right here. And I don't think I would have committed so heavily into anti-air if I didn't know, like, it's Catharsis. He's definitely going to go for air, because normally, you know, this would basically be an overcommitment. And actually, I wondered at this point, does the missile ship not shoot if it's doing its direct fire, or the indirect fire ability? And I don't think it does, because otherwise I would have gotten more shots off there. So it's kind of an interesting learning experience there. I don't believe it'll shoot if it's doing its barrage ability. So just thought you'd like to know. This heavy railgun here going to put the hurt down on the AAV. This base runner is advancing. I don't think it's going to be able to make it, though, so it's perhaps a little bit of a misplay, but at this point it's going to be very hard for him to score. He does snipe an assault railgun there, but he loses a strike fighter for it. Another one got very low, but he did make it out. Still not really, I don't think, an effective trade, but not so bad. Another production cruiser coming out for me. I'll be able to weaponize my carrier. They're going to try to go for another artifact here with the base runner. If you look at the missile ship count, there's 4 of them now, so I'm really not vulnerable in any place on my side here. to air units. The base runner goes down there, you noticed. You can see its tires rolling off into the distance. I love that effect. But yeah, you know, with this many missile ships, I am not vulnerable in any particular area here, so I'll be fine. Don't have to worry about those air units, really. And actually, we played a 3v3 today that Catharsis was in, and I actually had like a squad of like 15 missile ships. It was insane. They killed so many air units. But yeah, just gonna dive down here on top of this turret. I should be able to kill this, I think. I'm gonna take 2 as losses, though. This poor guy was out in the front, just got bombarded to death by the missile ship, but this is fine for him. I do have the assault ship here, so he won't be able to overrun. If I did not have that, he would be completely okay in that engagement there. I really like going for assault ship tech after I already have railguns for that reason. Because then you don't feel like, you know, if you lose your sand skimmer majority, which is always kind of tricky to hold, that you're just going to instantly get rolled over. Railgun's coming up for him now, however, and that is going to make this a little bit more difficult. Right now I've enjoyed basically control of this whole side of the field here, but that's probably going to fall out as the railguns from him pop in. Strike fighters here, once again, just trying to find an opening. And it looks like he wants to attack on 2 fronts at once. It's going to be a little bit difficult to cast, I suppose. Base runner doing what it can, but that's not really much. But I think this guy is going to get sniped here. Oh, very close, but he does make it. 2 railguns go down there, partly to railgun fire, partly to these LAVs here. And an assault ship actually starting to fall as well, so those railguns proving very effective for Catharsis. I'm going to have to fall back here. I know this side of the field is kind of lost, but I do have a bunch of sand skimmers. I'm okay with that. Railgun armor level 3 coming in now. He's got upgrade 1, I believe. Another shot lands down there on that heavy railgun there. This missile ship, unfortunately, just a little bit out of position. And again, not being able to get a shot off. So very good eye from him, knowing, you know, where he can come in and do the damage. He gets 3 heavy railguns. That's not insignificant at all, I'd like to say. LAV's kind of getting rinsed here. They don't have nearly as many upgrades, and they're definitely outnumbered. So I'm going to be able to get in here, take out these railguns. So that kind of looks like an even trade, doesn't it? Took out a whole bunch of railguns for free. I took out his railguns as well. I took out all of his LAVs. He killed most of mine. You know, it seems pretty much even here. So we've kind of maintained the status quo, but that should be good for me. Starting to power up my carrier just a little bit more, trying to get a bit more active into the game here. More heavy railguns coming out. Missile ships begin to be a little bit more aggressive. And honestly, this guy is so hidden that I think I've forgotten that he's there. So I don't even know that I have like a missile ship at this position. At least I don't think so. Because otherwise I'm sure I would move him out. This is not really a very active position for him. Scanner goes down here just to be able to see if there are kind of troop movements over on this side, although you could potentially skirt around on the outside there, but you wouldn't really think to do that unless you knew that scanner was there. Actually, this map is really interesting for that reason. You can definitely get like around the opponent's sensor coverage. Like, he could get all the way to here before I saw him, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting that way, but we usually don't see that come into effect. Probes, unfortunately, not going to have the best of days. Both probes get sniped down right there. And he should definitely see at this point. I really can't use my air units here. Catharsis is still, you know, very good at finding openings for those air units when it seems like there are none, but at this point, it really looks very tight, the anti-air coverage here. I'm going to go for a little backstep with my carry. This is always very risky, but I believe that he is over here, and indeed he is. Oh, that's unfortunate. The units just launching getting hit by missile ships, actually 2 of them, so they're all at very low health now. He's just going to have to instantly dock them, I would have thought. One of them goes down, in fact. So his carrier, unfortunately for him, getting kind of on top. Oh, look at that barrage there. It takes out a whole bunch of these railguns. But yeah, his units, his carrier there is unfortunately kind of on top of that anti-air, so they can't really launch. Sand Skimmer's having to pull back a little bit, but this force over here was cleaned up. And it's starting to look very much on a knife's edge, you know what I mean? Like, everywhere that Catharsis pushes out, everywhere that I push out, if we're not, you know, just a tiny bit overextended, we just lose everything. It's crazy. It's a very, very tense game right here. Both with very even unit compositions. I've gone for interceptors now, and I've got 3 of them. And my thought here is, I can use the interceptors once he launches out and sees that there's anti-air and backs up. I can then go in there and try to like snipe out his air units. That was my idea going with interceptors here, since interceptors tend to be much better at anti-air. Now I also see all these railguns here. They're not really particularly defended, but You know, it's my favorite thing, the cruise missile there. It's going to take out this entire squad over on this side here. So at that point I'm thinking, well, maybe I can get some counterplay with these sand skimmers. Maybe I can do something nasty to him there. I'm going after the railguns, so I didn't realize that they had moved off to this side. But the interceptors are going to see that for me. And I have pushed them off of a base, mind you, so this is already good economic damage being done. If we maintain this kind of status quo, I should win. Me trying to micro air units, but you know, I'm not particularly good at that. It's still no support cruiser anti-air, so these guys are basically uncontested, but I'm gonna dock them anyway because I'm weak, I guess. Just gonna bombard the salvagers right there. That's a move that I like. If you have 2 missile ships, you can bombard the eco. These guys are gonna push in again. That's definitely a mistake. I'm not sure what they're going for. Definitely ought to just back out of there. The carrier does still enough damage on its own, but there's also AAVs right here. If anything even got close to dying, they would just smoke it up, so that's not really a winning fight right there. But both armies, once again, basically shredded. I'll be able to reproduce... that sounds odd, but you know, I'll be able to make my army back a little bit faster, though, I would assume, being on 3 bases instead of 2. These assault railguns right here, trying to see if they can poke in, but there are railguns in the back line right there. Support cruiser anti-air still not finished, but if I recall correctly, it gets finished during this run, which is quite painful for me. Yep, there you go. So support cruiser anti-air literally finishing at the perfect time. So that's pretty good for Catharsis. Excellent timing right there. And that's going to clean up all of the interceptors, which had me a little tilted, but nothing I can't recover from. Meanwhile, artifact pressure about to get a little bit tight for him as the 3rd one gets picked up here, and it definitely looks like there's no way he's going to be able to contest this. There is a missile ship in the area. He's not going to be able to use his air units there. He doesn't have a really, you know, powerful force, and certainly not a fast one. He has no LAVs on the field at all. So it's not obvious how he's going to stop this artifact from scoring here. And the siege on his 3rd base has essentially just ended, so for that whole time I was mining more than him. My army should eventually just begin to get a little bit bigger than his. These sand skimmers here, I guess, have a death wish. Not enough respect for the carrier missiles, I guess. That did not go well. But now I'm coming over here on this side, trying to stay a little bit less blobbed than I have been before, because, you know, cruise missiles are a thing, apparently. He's been using them already, I know that, so... Trying to keep my units a little bit unblobbed. Good barrage from the missile ship, but it doesn't find any victims just yet. Cruise missile is launched. Where's it going to go? Right there. This time are they going to get out? I think it's going to be a lot better. Yeah, so only 3 of them get taken out that time, so decent split right there, although another one just got took out by these coalition stealth rails. These things are so hard to target for that reason. I do have... Do I have a railgun majority here? Not quite, no. So this would be a hard fight for me to take. I really probably should just back away from here. But another artifact scores right there. Railgun's getting produced on this side. And Catharsis is moving in with his carrier here now. If you see someone moving in with their carrier like this, they must have some kind of an idea. Meanwhile, these sandskimmers, by the way, gonna run in here. Maybe it'll take a support cruiser if I'm lucky, but no, that's gonna be smoked, so that's wise of him. Air units launching, but they're flying directly over the missile ships. They're taking a lot of damage, and when they come back to the carrier, they're going to have to fly over it again as well. I'm even launching my interceptor to just say, like, hey, maybe I can hunt one of them down. That was my idea in the first place. But does Catharsis have a plan? Yeah, he definitely has a plan. Cruise missile is going to be part of it, and he's going to make battle cruisers try to dump them on top of me and get a carrier kill. And that seems like a wise move to me. That's kind of one of the few ways that I could still lose this game, because at this point, it's beginning to become a little bit more, you know, balanced in my favor. You can see once this attack gets cleaned up, I can immediately attack over here. It's becoming very difficult for him. My carrier can take the fight right here, but if he pops a cruise missile and 2 battle cruisers, not really. So I need to be able to kill that off pretty quickly. Gonna have a bunch of heavy railguns coming in, but fortunately for me, battle cruiser fabrication takes forever. You can see the yellow bar there is his battle cruisers, so it's gonna take him some time. Here I come with the, oh yeah, you can see the air units trying to make their escape back to the carrier, but all of them were taken out, so that's very effective for me. Now you can see me trying to take out this support cruiser here. I can probably bombard the eco at this point because they're all so low. Probably should do that, that would be the right move, but the real action is going on here, so I shouldn't miss that. You can see his carrier's taking a lot of damage. I'm almost on 5 power into weapons. And then here come the heavy railguns. That should finish it off before these battle cruisers can really pop. Something just popped instead, an AAV. That's not bad actually, you can smoke off the carrier. Yeah. You can see that's how close the battlecruiser is to finishing, but certainly that carrier will get killed first. At this point, what's going on in the rest of the map is pretty much irrelevant. This is win or lose for him at this moment right here. There's the battlecruiser. Gonna do heinous amounts of damage. Cruise missile launches to try to cover my retreat, but I'm not gonna retreat. I can take the carrier fight, so that is gonna be the game. A very good game from Catharsis. That was a lot of fun to watch. He's very good with air units. I don't know if that came through in this game here, but most players, even with that many air units, they would not have been able to find, you know, any openings really in all these missile ships, and yet he still killed probably like 6 or 7 railguns with those air units. So very solid air players, Catharsis. And his move at the end with the carrier may look a little bit dubious based on the fact I only took, you know, like, what is that, like 400 damage total. But actually that was a good move. That was a move that could have potentially won him the game if the timing was just a little bit better for him. So I respect that. That was not bad. So yeah, excellent game there. Quite a lot of fun to cast. We hope to get more 2v2 League action going on sometime soon, but I don't know. It's proving quite difficult to schedule. But we will do our best to bring you some more action from the 2v2 League. Big news right now, though, is Kara Cup 6 happening on Saturday. That one's really big. We have like 12 players registered, a lot of big names, so we're super excited for that one. And I will begin uploading that probably on like Monday or so. So get hyped, I guess. Watch all my videos, subscribe, give me money, etc. And I'll see you next time.